You ever sit somewhere, maybe in a room full of people, and start wondering, why does that one guy just stand out without even trying? He's not the loudest, he's not the richest, he's not even the best dressed. But somehow, when he walks in, the air changes. You can feel his presence. People look, they listen, and deep down, you can't help but ask yourself, what does he have that I don't? Hey, let's be real for a second. Most men today are walking around trying to prove something. They overtalk, overpost, overshow, and still get overlooked. And the crazy part? The men who are quietly confident, who don't chase validation, are the ones everyone remembers. That's not magic, it's behavior. It's psychology, and it's something you can learn. See, real attraction isn't about muscles, money, or a jawline that could cut glass. It's about how you move through a room. It's about the way your energy settles, not explodes. Psychologists call it low reactivity dominance. In plain terms, it means you stay centered when others are desperate to be noticed. You don't flinch when someone tries to impress you. You don't raise your voice to compete. You make silence your statement. And here's the twist. In a world obsessed with attention, the most attractive men are the ones who don't chase it. They draw it in naturally. Their confidence doesn't need to shout. Their body language doesn't need to perform. They make people curious. And curiosity, my friend, is power. You might think, but I'm not that type of guy. I don't command a room like that. You don't have to, because the truth is, these behaviors are learned, not inherited. Every man has the ability to become quietly magnetic. It just takes awareness and control. So in this video, we're not talking about fake charm or pickup tricks. We're diving into real psychological shifts that make you unshakable. These are 5 behaviors that most people overlook, but they change everything about how you're perceived. By the end, you'll understand why the man who says less, stands firm, and moves with quiet purpose often ends up being the one no one forgets. Let's break it down, starting with behavior number 1, controlled confidence, the calm that pulls people in. 1. Controlled confidence, the calm that pulls people. You ever notice how some men walk into a room and instantly make everyone else straighten up a bit, without saying a word? It's not because they're famous or intimidating. It's because they carry themselves like they already belong there. That's controlled confidence. Now let's be clear. Confidence and arrogance aren't twins. They're barely cousins. Arrogance screams, "Notice me." Confidence whispers, "I'm good," whether you notice or not. And that whisper? It's louder than you think. So, what is controlled confidence? It's the ability to hold your ground without needing approval. It's when you can sit in silence and not feel awkward. It's when you don't rush to prove your worth because you already know it. Think about it. How many times have you been in a group where someone talks over everyone just to sound smart? That's not power. That's insecurity dressed up in noise. Controlled confidence is quiet power. Psychologists call it self-regulated dominance, the kind that doesn't depend on attention to exist. Studies on body language show that people naturally trust and respect those who appear composed under pressure. Why? Because calmness signals safety. And in any social setting, safety is the most magnetic trait there is. When you're calm, people lean in. When you're desperate to impress, people lean away. It's that simple. But here's the trick most men miss. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from accepting that you don't have to. Controlled confidence is being okay with not having the last word, not winning every argument, not filling every silence. It's letting the room come to you instead of chasing its attention. And here's a little reality check. If you constantly need to remind people of your value, you're silently telling them you doubt it yourself. Controlled confidence doesn't chase validation, it creates it. So how do you build that? Start small. Don't talk just to fill silence. Sit in it. Don't react immediately when someone challenges you. Breathe. Don't compare yourself to louder men. Observe them. They're often fighting invisible battles to be seen. You're learning to be felt. The truth is, people follow emotional signals, not words. When your energy is steady, others feel grounded around you. That's why controlled confidence pulls people in. It offers emotional stability in a world addicted to chaos. Imagine this. Two men are at the same event. One's loud, constantly checking his phone, trying to make everyone laugh. The other is relaxed, speaking less, observing more. Guess who people remember? The calm one. Because his silence leaves space for curiosity. His composure tells a story without words. And that's the real secret. Controlled confidence makes people wonder about you. It creates depth. You stop being predictable. You become the man whose attention feels earned, not given freely. Controlled confidence is not about pretending to be perfect. It's about being comfortable with your imperfections. It's about showing up as yourself and trusting that's enough. Because the truth is, people don't remember the loudest guy. They remember the one who made them feel safe, seen, and steady. So ask yourself, when you walk into a room, are you chasing attention or commanding presence? Because once you master controlled confidence, every space you enter starts adjusting to you. Now, let's take that same quiet power and move into something most men underestimate. Intentional silence. The power of not rushing to speak. 2. Intentional silence. The power of not rushing to speak. You ever notice how uncomfortable silence makes most people? The second there's a pause, they start scrambling for words, filling the air with nervous chatter, laughter, or random facts no one asked for. But here's the truth. The man who's not afraid of silence owns it. Intentional silence is one of the most underrated tools of attraction and power, because silence isn't emptiness, it's control. And when you know how to use it, people start reading meaning into your stillness. They start wondering what you're thinking, how you're feeling, and most importantly, why you're not rushing to speak like everyone else. Think about it. When someone asks you a question and you pause before answering, that pause adds weight to your words. It signals thought. It says, I don't just react, I choose. That tiny gap, it's where respect is born. Now, psychologically, this works because of something called processing dominance. Studies show that people who take their time to respond are often perceived as more intelligent, confident, and trustworthy. Why? Because they seem to value accuracy over approval. And in a world where everyone's trying to talk first, the man who talks last often wins. But here's the irony. Silence makes insecure men nervous. They think, if I don't speak, people will think I'm shy or awkward. But silence doesn't expose insecurity. It exposes presence. It's proof that you don't need constant noise to feel significant. You're comfortable enough with yourself to let the moment breathe. Ever been in a conversation where someone keeps interrupting, finishing your sentences, or trying too hard to sound smart? It's exhausting, right? That's what happens when a man fears silence. He fills it with noise to feel important. But the truly attractive man doesn't fill space. He holds it. Intentional silence is emotional maturity in real time. It means you're listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk. You're observing body language, tone, emotion. You're reading the room. You're responding, not reacting. And when you finally do speak, your words hit differently because they've been filtered through awareness, not impulse. And here's where it gets powerful. Silence builds anticipation. When you don't rush to reply, people start leaning in. They start wondering what you'll say. They value your opinion more because your calmness signals thoughtfulness. But here's a little truth bomb. Silence isn't just about what you don't say. It's about what you protect. Every time you hold back from defending your ego, you strengthen your character. Every time you pause instead of reacting emotionally, you earn quiet authority. Because silence isn't weakness, it's restraint. Try this next time someone tries to provoke you or show off. Don't take the bait. Don't match their energy. Just smile. Breathe. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. You'll be shocked how quickly people expose themselves when you stop feeding their noise. Intentional silence teaches you this: attention is power, and silence directs it. It's not that you don't have words, it's that your words have value. So, stop rushing to fill space. Stop proving you belong. Let people sit in your silence long enough to feel your presence, because when your quiet becomes comfortable, it turns magnetic. And that's when you realize you don't need to be the loudest man in the room to be heard. You just need to be the one who knows when not to speak. Now, let's move into something that ties directly into that calm energy: non-reactive presence. Staying grounded when others lose theirs. 3. Non-reactive presence. Staying grounded when others lose theirs. You know that moment when everything around you feels like it's spinning. Someone's angry, someone's loud, someone's trying to pull you into their chaos, and yet there's that one person who doesn't flinch. That's non-reactive presence. And believe me, it's one of the most magnetic traits a man can have. Because here's the truth: everyone's reacting to something, to a comment, to stress, to fear of judgment. Most men spend their lives in reaction mode, snapping back, defending, over-explaining. But the man who can pause, breathe, and stay composed when others are losing control, that's the man people look to when things go wrong. Non-reactivity doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care intelligently. You don't let emotions drag you into every battle. You choose when and how to respond. And that kind of control doesn't just make you appear strong, it makes you trustworthy. Psychologists call this emotional regulation. But let's be real. It's just inner calm. It's being able to sit with discomfort instead of trying to escape it. When you master that, your entire energy shifts. Your tone becomes slower, your body more grounded, and your words more deliberate. People start to feel safer around you without knowing why. You've probably felt it before. When someone reacts impulsively, the room tightens. When someone stays calm, the room exhales. That's the power of emotional steadiness. It changes the temperature of your surroundings. And the secret? It's not about pretending to be unbothered. It's about being anchored. When you know who you are and what matters, small things stop shaking you. A rude comment doesn't ruin your day. A misunderstanding doesn't destroy your peace. You stop being pulled around by every wave because you've learned how to float. Non-reactive presence is rare because it requires self-respect. You stop chasing validation, stop proving your worth, stop arguing to be right. You begin to respond from understanding, not from ego. That's when you realize real strength isn't in the comeback. It's in the composure. When you stop reacting to every trigger, people start noticing something different about you. They might not say it out loud, but they feel it. You move differently. You're centered. You don't need the room's energy. The room needs yours. And that's the quiet truth most men never discover. Being non-reactive doesn't make you passive. It makes you powerful. Because when everyone else is busy fighting to be seen, you're busy mastering yourself. Now let's push deeper into that energy, into the way your body speaks before you do. Let's talk about purposeful posture, the psychology behind how you carry yourself. 4. Purposeful posture, the psychology behind how you carry yourself. Let's be honest, most men walk around completely unaware of what their body is saying. They speak about confidence, but their shoulders slump. They talk about ambition, but their eyes stay on the floor. They want respect, but they move like they're asking for permission. And here's the truth most men don't want to hear. Before you ever open your mouth, your posture has already introduced you. See, posture isn't just about standing tall. It's about what you believe about yourself. You can't fake it for long because your body reveals what your mind tries to hide. When you walk hunched over, avoiding eye contact, your body is literally telling the world, "I'm not sure I belong here," and the world believes you. Psychologically, posture communicates dominance, safety, and self-assurance long before words ever do. Research on nonverbal communication shows that people make subconscious judgments about your confidence and credibility within seconds, based solely on how you carry yourself. You can't control their opinions, but you can control the signals you send. And here's where a lot of men mess up. They think posture is about flexing or puffing their chest out. Number. That's insecurity disguised as strength. Purposeful posture is relaxed, but grounded. It's shoulders back, chin up, spine straight, not to intimidate, but to project calm certainty. You're not trying to look powerful. You are powerful, so your body just reflects it. Now here's the part some won't like. Too many men have forgotten how to take up space, not with ego, but with presence. They shrink themselves to seem polite or likable, when what they should be doing is showing up fully. Not dominating, not performing, just existing with assurance. Because when you make yourself small, you train others to treat you that way. And listen, this isn't about pretending you're a superhero. It's about respecting yourself enough to stand like one. Your body tells your mind what to feel. When you correct your posture, you're not just changing how people see you. You're changing how you see yourself. You can't expect the world to respond to you like a leader if you move through it like an apology. That's the hard truth. Every slouch, every hesitant movement, every downward glance chips away at your presence. And people notice. So, if you want to wake up your inner authority, start with your body. Walk slower. Stand taller. Look people in the eyes, not to challenge them, but to connect. Move with intention. Let your posture be a mirror of your peace, not your fear. Because when your body language says, "I'm here and I'm grounded," you don't have to demand respect. It arrives naturally. Now, let's close this out with something that ties it all together. How you express emotion without losing control of it. Let's talk about emotional precision. Expressing without oversharing. 5. Emotional precision. Expressing without oversharing. Let's face it, most men today are trapped between two extremes. They either shut down emotionally and call it strength, or they overshare everything and call it vulnerability. But true power sits quietly in the middle. That's where emotional precision lives. The ability to express what you feel without drowning people in it. See, emotional precision isn't about pretending to be unbothered. It's about knowing why you feel something and choosing how to communicate it. Because here's the truth, emotions aren't the problem. Lack of control is. You can be passionate, honest, even vulnerable, and still be respected if your emotions come out measured, not messy. Psychologists talk about emotional intelligence, but let's strip the jargon. Emotional precision is self-awareness in action. It's being able to say, "Yeah, that upset me," without exploding. It's saying, "I need a moment," instead of disappearing for days. It's learning to respond like a man who understands himself, not a man who's at war with himself. And here's what most people don't realize. When you master emotional precision, your relationships change. People start trusting you more. They feel safe around you because they know what to expect. You become the man who brings clarity, not confusion. And that's what makes you quietly magnetic. You're grounded in truth, not in chaos. But let's be honest, too many men wear emotional chaos like a badge of masculinity. They think bottling everything up makes them stoic, or that outbursts make them real. Neither is true. Suppression makes you numb. Overreaction makes you unstable. Precision makes you balanced. And balance is rare. That's why it's powerful. Here's the part most won't tell you. Emotional control isn't coldness. It's mastery. When you understand your emotions, they stop controlling you. You become harder to manipulate, harder to provoke, and far more respected. Because people can sense it. You're not hiding. You're in command. It's that quiet strength people gravitate toward. You can speak with warmth without being weak. You can express disappointment without hostility. You can show compassion without losing your edge. That's emotional precision, being transparent without bleeding all over the place. And the truth? That's the kind of man who stands out anywhere. Not because he's perfect, but because he's present. Because he doesn't let emotion drive him. He lets it inform him. When your words match your emotions, and your emotions match your values, people start listening differently. They stop hearing just your voice. They start feeling your character. And that's when you become unforgettable. Now that we've covered all 5, let's wrap this up with one powerful, controversial truth. One that might just change how you see yourself forever. Here's the truth. No one likes to say out loud. Most men aren't invisible because they lack looks, money, or charm. They're invisible because they've traded depth for performance. They chase attention instead of presence. They speak louder instead of truer. And the world doesn't fall for it anymore. You want to be the most attractive man in any room? Then stop trying to be noticed. Start mastering yourself. The calm man, the one who listens more than he speaks, who controls his emotions, his posture, and his silence. That's the man people remember. Because he doesn't need the room's validation. He commands it through his energy. It's controversial, I know. But maybe it's time men stopped chasing what they can get from others and started building what they can offer. That shift alone turns noise into gravity. So, if any of this hit home, I want to hear from you. Comment your thoughts, your experiences, even your struggles with becoming that calm, grounded version of yourself. I'll be going through every comment personally, connecting with some of you one-on-one. Because remember, attraction isn't built in the mirror. It's built in the mind. And when your mind is steady, your presence speaks for itself.